What's up, guys? This is Robbie. Welcome to your Four Sales to Freedom webinar. A brand new life awaits. I'm really excited to finally do this webinar with you. I've been getting a lot of people who asked me to do this, to talk about this subject really in depth, because usually I talk about it in 5-minute videos and 10-minute videos. But in here, I'm just going to lay it all out for you so you can really soak it in and take action on it immediately. I've even included a few bonuses at the end, and you can be assured about staying. Everyone who stays till the end is going to get a full summary of this presentation. So don't worry too much about taking notes. You are going to get the entire material down. Now, first things first, I want to thank everybody who pushed me to do this, my loyal customers, my audience, who asked me to actually make this event. It's taken a bit of time to arrange, because usually I like to just travel and upload videos, but I'm glad to see there's a really, really good response to this, and I'm really happy to be here again. So let's get moving. First of all, why is this called For Sales to Freedom? What the fuck is this stupid name? Again, I'm sorry for cursing. For anyone who's new here, I like to curse pretty often. So if you don't like foul language, I'm sorry, there's no bleep option. You're going to have to deal with it. But if you do, it's going to work for you, because I am very in your face, very direct when I coach people. So it's a double-edged sword. Anyway, I came up with this name, For Sales to Freedom, because when I was starting out, and I'm going to tell you my story in a bit, I really needed just 4 sales every month to be completely financially free, to be able to travel the world, have a ton of money, make a lot more than I ever did, do what I love. Basically, 4 sales doesn't mean like 4 book sales, like my $37 book. No, it means 4 big sales, like $1,000 plus sale. So you just need 4 of these every month, meaning 1 big sale a week, to do whatever the hell you want, to, again, travel, live like whatever lifestyle you want, and build it from there. That's your ticket to freedom, again, is knowing how to close these $1,000+ sales once per week, which is actually really, really easy. I'm going to show you why you don't need supporting products. You don't need like a small product before that. Why you don't need like a crazy amount of traffic. Why you don't need to pay for ads, and how you can actually achieve this result just by uploading a couple of YouTube videos every week, by uploading blog posts, by being active in forums. Small, simple stuff that works amazing, because all you really need is like 4 or 5 people who are like really your style, interested in what you teach, and have the money to afford it, basically, whether it's a product or your services, for you to be able to close 1 person per week. Again, I'm going to show you exactly how. So the main topic, to summarize it, again, how to start closing sales of over $1,000 on a weekly basis. Could be 1 sale, could be 2 sales, could be 3 sales, without any prior sales or marketing experience, in just a couple of weeks. It's really that simple. I'm going to show you step by step, from start to finish, how you actually make it happen in your niche in a way that you love, without too much hard work. And once it's set up, when it's going, it's pretty much on automatic. All you have to do is get more people into the funnel, basically the traffic, and then you have to make sure you close the people who kind of filter themselves out as good candidates. Again, I'm going to show you how. All it really takes is maybe 20, 30 hours total per week. I mean, including marketing, including sales, including providing a product. Everything takes no more than 30 hours a week, meaning you can work from 1 hour a day to 4 hours a day max, and make at least $5,000 a month while you travel, while you have fun. And I'm going to show you how to actually make more money when you travel, because it makes it seem more prestigious. So again, don't worry, there will be a summary at the ending. It's going to be sent to your email. It's not going to be exactly a summary, more like the whole presentation. So if you listen through, it's going to be very easy to see what every slide means, because I like very simple but very straightforward slides. So you're going to understand what they mean. But if you just jump forward and you don't actually watch the entire webinar, there's a good chance that you're not going to understand what half of the shit you're going to see means, because again, you're going to have to learn it ahead of time. So, warning, this is really, really good stuff. This shit works. It's made me and many of my students a lot of money. It's not a secret strategy. It's not some sort of something that works only right now. It's something that's always going to work, that's evergreen. It's going to work online, offline, but the best way obviously is online because of your reach and the ability to reach any people, anytime, anywhere. But once you know that shit, there's really no going back. Like once you understand how this works and how simple it is, you're going to have no more excuses not to be successful, not to make money online, not to travel. So if you haven't already experienced success and you're not really sure if you're going to implement it and take action on it, I recommend you go back, you don't watch this, because again, I explain things in an extremely straightforward manner. Once you see this, you cannot unsee this. It will be extremely simple in your face, and you're going to know that you could have made it happen. That only takes a couple of weeks to set it up, and so deal with it however you want to deal with it. So focus. First of all, close your Facebook tabs. I'm going to have your complete and utter attention. Close, the emails. Don't look at them. Put the phone on silent. Like, close everything. Don't get distracted, okay? Because it's really easy to get distracted. I promise this won't go for more than like an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours if it's going to be like amazingly good and fun. And you're going to learn a ton of value. Most people, when they teach you how to make a webinar, they say, hey, don't always reveal everything, keep it mysterious, keep it intriguing so that you can sell your products better. I'm not really like that, okay? If I'm going to invest like an hour plus to be here and help you, I'm going to give you all the tools you need. So trust me on this, get focused, stay with me. You're not going to regret it. And even if you did, let me know. I promise I'll make it up to you. Awesome. So if you're ready, let's get started. Let's move on with this. So I bet you have two questions right now if you don't know me. First question is, who are you? Why should I even listen to you? And second question is, why aren't you an Instagram model? So let's start with the first question and then see if we get to the second one. So here's my story. Here's like how I began. Now this is going to take like 10, 15 minutes to really go through, because I want you to see exactly where I started in life. I mean like age 13. Of course, I'm not going to talk about, drinking milk from mommy or, what happened in kindergarten. But at age 13 already some business experience started for me. So we're going to go really quickly through everything, and you're going to realize exactly why I am super qualified to talk about this, and you can see how our stories are probably a lot more similar than you think. So when I was 13 years old, I really liked 3D modeling, building weapons, characters, everything that relates to 3D art, like what you see in movies, in video games. And I was doing it maybe 10 hours a day because I was extremely introverted. I had no friends, and that was just a way for me to pass the time. One day, I stumbled across a website called TurboSquid, where I was able to start uploading various 3D creations of mine. So there you can see a DSR Russian sniper rifle that I made at age 13. This is a Batman model, because I fucking love Batman, that I made when I was 14. A couple of items from the store. You can see like a sword from a video game, a shotgun, machete, all sorts of cool things. And as you can see, I would sell them for like $40, $30, $20, $60 sometimes. And at one point, I actually started seeing sales. I just saw like my first PayPal purchase, and I remember getting like $20 into my PayPal account. Now, the moment that shit happened, everything changed for me. Like I immediately felt um, like I know what I want to do. I felt like a calling, like a business calling. I thought, okay, if I just upload more of these, then I'm gonna make more money, and there's no limit to it. And I'm only 14, so by the age I'm 18, I'm gonna make like $10,000 a month. And I actually kept growing this 3D store, but the thing is, even though it worked and I actually did see a lot of really, really good sales, as you can see, to this day, this store has made me over $3,500. Not bad for something I did at age 13. And even, again, to this day, I still get like $10, $20 a month, almost every month, just from somebody who bought something from me. So the problem with how I did it was I only started creating things that I knew would sell, like things that were in demand, that they didn't have a lot of supply for, that people didn't do a good job of making. But I stopped making things out of passion. I basically started making them only for profit, like mercenary. And this completely obliterated my passion for 3D arts. So I went from a situation where I was 13, I just started out, to 16. I was extremely, extremely good at it. One of the best in the country, probably, because there was still no formal education for this almost, at least not on an advanced level. And then I just quit. And then I spent the next 2 years being very confused, not knowing what I want for my life, and again, feeling powerless because I was introverted and had no friends. And then I decided to start getting better with women. So I actually started approaching women and reading about it, how to actually become more charismatic, how to become more bold. And I would skip school up to age 18 when I finished high school, and just almost every day I would go to meet women in like the more central parts of Israel. And then at age 18, I decided to move. So I actually moved to an apartment on my own in a place called Allenby, which is one of the most central kind of fun places in Israel, where all the young people are and all the parties are, and there's things going on every single night. And I moved there. I started working at a coffee shop really, really close to me. And, I did actually do it. I went out every day, and it was fucking awesome. I had a lot of hardships as well, because I had a lot of psychological issues, and living alone doesn't exactly help them. But all in all, like, it was really good. But then one day, the guy that I most admired, a guy named Julian Blanc, who's from a company named RSD, which I followed for like 3, 4 years. The guy came over to Israel for a weekend. He calls it a boot camp experience, where for one weekend for $3,000, he's gonna work with you and help you improve your skills with women and become more social. This is from a guy who's like a master. Like, this guy is probably the best I've ever seen thus far with women. And I talked to my mom, I talked to my dad, and I made a decision. And once I decide something, you probably relate with that, it just fucking happens. Like, the more people resist my decision, the more I get focused on actually making it happen. So I took all my university tuition money, everything that my mom and me and my grandma saved for me, all the $3,000+ basically took it all out, put it for that one weekend. And at that point, it was clear that I'm not going to go to college. I never really thought that I would do it, but now that I used all that money for 3 days of learning how to pick up chicks, it was pretty clear I don't have any academic future, to the great dismay of my parents. So there's me on the boot camp. It's on the second day. Funny enough, the guy on the left, his name, like the guy next to me, to the left, the guy on the right is Julian, by the way, the big Neanderthal guy. But the guy on the left is an Israeli guy called Moran, the guy with the black shirt, Moran Pober. And actually, the both of us went to this $25,000 seminar in a Scottish castle by this guy named Dan Pena. And he actually is still doing deals and trying to buy businesses and stuff like that. So I'm going to tell you about that later. Um, so yeah, I got over the whole women thing. You know, I got pretty good with women. I had multiple girlfriends, not necessarily at the same time, but although I did have that kind of period as well. I had some one night stands. So yeah, I just, I didn't feel bad anymore about being short, about being introverted. All that shit was gone. And then I moved on to my next sort of experience, which is what I call the 100 business experiments. I already had like the taste for business and from age 13, and every I knew that you can make money without actually working. That was like the big epiphany. Like you can actually make money without physically being there and getting paid per hour, and most people don't get that insight until much later in life. So every time I would work at let's say a cafe, and then I would quit after like a month or two. And then I would decide to start my own business. Before I worked at the cafe, I decided to start my own business. Then I worked at a high-tech company for almost a year, and then I quit because I decided to start my own business. And then I worked in another company, and then I decided to start my own business, and I quit. So just a couple of examples. I built a website called Wake Up Feel Fresh. I was like, okay, maybe I'll build some learning website where I teach people about properly waking up. Like I had no idea on the subject, but I read that if you build a website that teaches people stuff, and you actually learn about it, then you can actually get money from ads. If you put like, it's called Google AdSense, where you put ads on the website. So I tried it for a week, and then I realized, fuck it, I don't give a shit about waking up. It was just a cool name, so I just bought it. So I said, okay, why not transform this into a dating website called Wake Up, Feel Fresh, and same domain. And there, what I started to do was actually kind of write blogs about me going out and meeting women, all sorts of stuff like that. That actually went pretty well. I would get like 1,000+ views every month, and it was pretty nice. But and then I realized like, okay, this is really not my passion either. I'm probably not going to go for it. Another experiment, I called it Lead Seek. Sorry. I created it after I worked with a company and managed their Facebook ads. I'm going to talk about it later. And I was like, okay, I'm really good with ads, so maybe I'm going to do ads for small businesses. But again, the problem was I would only go for businesses that were almost near broke. So they had maybe like $500 a month, at best, to invest in Facebook advertising. So I would literally create like the landing page for them. I would create the lead management thing, and I would run the campaigns, and I would get like a $500 budget, and I would work based on results because I'm a very results-oriented guy, and I didn't make any money because they would pay me maybe $7 per lead, $5 per lead, but if they get like 10 leads or 8 leads every month, like you can't really build a business around that because it takes hours upon hours just to create the campaign and make sure everything works. So it felt like having a lot of bosses, like 10 bosses, and making the same amount that I did as an employee. So I was like, okay, that's not it either. And then I opened a website called Refurbished Laptops. So I was like, okay, maybe I'll go back to the thing where I'll now make reviews for refurbished laptops. Again, fake half-ass reviews because I didn't have one. I'm not exactly an expert on it. And I'll use the SEO traffic, the Google traffic, to get people to buy these books from Amazon, and then I'll get a cut. Again, fuck computer reviews. I don't like doing it. I quit it after like a month. And then I did habit coaching because I realized I want to be a coach. But again, my margins were extremely tiny because I would charge maybe like $40, $30 an hour at best. I had no packaging, like no, $1,000 for a month, stuff like that. I would just charge by hour. Again, I didn't know how to actually properly do the business. I was just really passionate, really good at marketing myself, getting people to notice me. But the business skills themselves, actually selling, and not necessarily being good at sales, just like knowing, how much to charge, how much my time is worth, how to put the products forward. I was really bad at it. But this was the start of me learning, kind of creating the coaching business. This was like a preview of what was to come in the future. This is another example. It's the same business. I would teach people yoga and strength training and peace, like meditation. So this is like a Hebrew thing. It says, look for Robbie Frank on YouTube, flexibility, power, and peace. So you can see like yoga, me at the gym, and then peace, me doing meditation. And again, that was pretty damn cool. I had like 200 flyers like this. Like I was always really good at marketing. I was not good at closing the deal. And eventually I said, okay, maybe the big breakthrough is going to come from doing a big course, like maybe from selling like a $200 course to people in Israel. And in Israel, $200 is like $400 in the US. So it's like a $400 course for you. And if you're in the US. And then a lot of my friends, good friends of mine, were like, Robbie, we're not trying to doubt you or anything, but who's gonna pay like a 19-year-old kid $400 for a fucking course? Like, what's your credentials? And I always despised that thing. I was like, it doesn't matter, but I needed to show them that it doesn't matter. So I set up the big lecture. It was about to be about 70 people were supposed to show up. I paid maybe like $400 to market it. And eventually what happened was nobody showed up, not even a single person. Well, actually, two friends of mine, my girlfriend, and two friends of my friends showed up to this class that I rented with camera equipment and everything. So yeah, it was pretty sad, pretty pathetic. I won't lie to you, I actually cried. It was pretty sad. And I kind of put everything on the side in terms of business for that period. Then I fell in love. This is the girl I fell in love with. I even got a tattoo of her on my stomach, not because I was in love and then I did it like while I was with her. Just like after we broke up, I decided to do like a tattoo of a flower because that sort of symbolizes her name, just to remember the experience. And as you can see, I like tattoos. I really, really, really fell in love with her, and she told me she's moving to South America. So I had no money, and I was like, shit, I'm gonna be with her in South America. Like I have 2, 3 months to get like $15,000, and again, because I'm crazy, I was like, okay, I'm actually gonna do it. So I signed up as a salesman at a smoking cessation company. The name is Alan Carr. It's a pretty famous company worldwide. I think it helped like 8 million smokers by this time, and yeah, really, really good company if you're interested in stop smoking. Um, so I joined there as a salesman. Started like really, really at the bottom because they promised that if you sell a lot, you could get like a lot of money. But obviously that's a lie that every single company makes. Obviously if you sell a lot, you're gonna make a lot of money, but they don't tell you like how hard it is, or that the fact that even the top salesman at the company just makes like $3,000. So I was like, shit, I wasted time. What now? And then suddenly the sales manager actually came up to us at a sales meeting, and it was like, hey, remember that if you get leads that close, like if you bring in the lead, you actually get double the commission. You get the commission because you brought the lead and the same commission for the sale itself. So I asked him, hey, if I just bring in the lead and somebody else closes the lead, do I still get the marketing commission? And he says, yeah, sure. Like half the commission. He gets the sale, I get the marketing thing. And then I opened a Facebook campaign. I never opened a Facebook campaign in my entire life, but I felt pretty good doing it. I had like an insight, and the idea was to sign people up to the free email course that they were offering, and asking and basically like the background to it is what they would do is they would have ads, and the ads would simply lead you to a page where you put like your name and number, and they call you about the $500 workshop. So I said, okay, maybe this should be like a middle stage, that makes it like easier to get in, but not necessarily, but where you can like trick people into going forward. Like imagine like an expensive shop, but you're like, hey, free candy if you go inside. So I uploaded a campaign saying free email course, how to stop smoking online, and people would sign up for it. And then after they would sign up for it, I would ask them for their phone number while they sign up, like what's your phone and email, and then we would call them. And even though we're not supposed to, because we're supposed to send them the email, but what we would say is, hey, can I also interest you? Like I just sent you, congratulations, I just sent you the email, your first training course. By the way, can I also interest you in our workshops? Like telling you about it. And about 70%, 60% would say yes, and they would actually close just as well as regular leads. But the cool thing is that we saved like 90% on the actual lead costs. So on one hand we got like a ton of emails because it was like 10 times cheaper. But on the other hand, like half of them would actually convert to regular clients. So immediately, people kind of stole me upstairs to the marketing department to manage a lot of things. I started out as an assistant, and within like a month or two, I was managing Facebook campaigns. I was doing landing pages. I was doing analytics and coding and HTML. So I was basically the whole internet, Facebook marketing guy that did every single thing and fixed things in the website. And that's what I did. My pay didn't change that much. Like again, I was making maybe $2,000 a month, and I was pretty satisfied, even though I knew I wasn't living up to my potential. By the way, the girlfriend decided not to move to South America, so that's why I was like a bit more relaxed. But it still felt like an increasing sense of discontent. Like I was like, okay, I'm not filling up my potential. I could be a lot better. And then coincidentally, my friend showed me this software called Plus 500. It's mainly an Israeli software, but you can use it online as like worldwide as well. And it's this is one of those very like quote unquote like dangerous softwares where you leverage your money by like 50 times, 100 times, 200 times on various stocks and on various you know uh, instruments like oil and wheat and gold. And basically it's you invest in the value. So let's say gold is worth $100 per kilogram, and then let's say uh, tomorrow it's worth like 101, so it increased by 1%. But because you're like leveraged by 1 to 100, that means that 1% increase is worth like 100 times more. So it's like you doubled your money. It's like 1% times 100. But again, it's the same on the opposite direction. So if gold goes down from 100 to 99%, that's a 1% loss. And in that case, you lose all your money, because that's a 1% loss that gets multiplied by 100. Now, I came at the perfect time for it because I have like a very kind of a bold but still very safe investment strategy, where I only do like really, really, really sure and safe stuff. So I found out that crude oil, basically oil, the barrels, were going down consistently from about $105 per barrel to about $50 per barrel. And this was happening in the course of like half a year consistently. So if you look at the left graph, in the middle, you'll see like a sharp drop, and you see that there's no up. It doesn't go up ever. It just goes down. It's like a landslide. So basically, it was going down consistently at the same speed for months upon months. And I came in when it was like $70 or $65 per barrel, and I just rode that shit. Now, also, by the way, the ruble, however you say, the Russian currency, it's deeply tied to oil, because in case you don't know, 80% of Russia's economy is based on oil exports. So both of them were pretty much correlated. So I just use what happened in oil, and I would just invest in, it's called shorting. It's when you actually make money when something loses value. And I started making, while people were like, "Oh my God, this is really bad," the economy is crashing. I was like, "Oh my God, I'm making a lot of money." So I would like literally like go to the bathroom, to go pee or take a shit or something. I would sit in the bathroom for like 3 minutes, and while I was in the bathroom, I would do like a short order, meaning like invest a certain amount of money with the outcome that you want of oil going down, and I would come out of the bathroom with like $300 more. It was pretty crazy. And this is a really good investment. By the way, like strategy. The only thing I invested to actually make this happen was like $120. That's all I needed. Like I just started with $120, and then I managed to leverage it to making hundreds of dollars in a couple of minutes, multiple times per day. So I just started stacking cash, and then I saved up quite a lot of money. I think it was about $20,000, maybe $18,000, and again, only from like a hundred and something dollars, only because I found like a perfect opportunity where I could go ahead and use something that's like leveraged. Like basically this was called a 1 to 200 leverage. So if it goes up by like 0.5%, I double my money. So it was a crazy, crazy leverage. And then I just rode with it. I did it, and it worked amazing. And I cashed in the $20,000. I was a bit scared that I'm not going to be able to cash them in. Not because I'm going to lose money necessarily, because I just invested like $100, but more like because it's 20,000 fucking dollars. But the money came in. It was in my bank account. It was pretty amazing. Everybody thought I was like a complete amazing genius. I thought so as well. And then I noticed that oil is getting closer to $50. And $50 in stocks, it's called a round number, like $10, $20, $30. These are round number, but $50 is like a really round number, meaning that it has a lot of psychological effects. So I knew like if oil went down all the way from 100 to 50 and it actually passes below 50, it means it must keep going down for like at least $5 more. So I made a decision to take all the $20,000, put them back into the cash pile, basically my investment account, and wait until it goes below 50, and at that moment, just put it all in and multiply it. If it goes from 50 to 45, that's like a 10% loss for oil, and 10% times 200 is 2,000, meaning that you can multiply your money 20 times. So $20,000 should turn into $400,000. And I actually really done my research. I checked how much it went up in the last half a year, like if it ever went up above a certain range. And I found out that as long as I don't put like more than 30% of my total equity into the investment account, then into the investment, then even if it does go up all of a sudden, then unless it's like 1 in 1,000 chance, probably even more, nothing bad should happen. But the problem was, I told everybody about it. I was like, "Hey guys, this is going to be amazing. I'm going to make a lot of money," and I got really excited. So I told everyone. My ego was like really into it. I even told my boss. I quit. I basically told my boss I'm not going to go show up to work, even though she was really angry. And the day came, and it actually went below 50, like I thought. And then because I had so much ego invested in it, I was like, "Yeah, it's gonna work. It's gonna work. I'm not afraid." And then instead of doing what I promised I'll do, like the golden rule that I literally wrote above my computer, like do not put in more than 30% under any circumstance. I did it, but then I just put everything in, and one little spike was all it took to put me out of the game. And I actually got to a point where I just stayed with it. And for the next 30 minutes, it kept going up and up and up until like $51, meaning I was like in debt to them for like, I think it was around $100,000 in debt. And then they basically closed my position. I lost all that money. And like 20 minutes later, oil went down just as expected, got down, as you can see, to almost $43, I think. Uh, yeah, it literally went down to like 40, less than 40, but that's a long time after. So yeah, it went down to like $43, meaning that yeah, I could have easily made like, $500,000. It was crazy, 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 crazy time. So yeah, I was in bed, so it was like what I call like the dark night of the soul. Basically, I just in bed, sweating, everything gone, don't know what I'm gonna tell my parents tomorrow. It was a bad, 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 bad night. So yeah, and then again, I took a couple of weeks, couple of months maybe to just kind of recuperate, just gather my energies again. And then my entrepreneurial drive came back. I realized again, you can make a whole lot of money in various different ways, from business, from stocks, even in my job where I was running the Facebook ads. I told them I want to be only a freelance and only get paid by results rather than by hour. And they wanted security, so they were like, oh, of course, if he gets paid by results, it means more security for us. But then because my results were so good, they had to pay me like three times my my usual salary. So they paid me like $6,000 that month, and then they realized they made a mistake, so they just fired me because now they can't. You won't accept less money once you actually made it. Um, and yeah, so I just spent the next couple of weeks, months like this. Don't worry, we're getting pretty close to the really cool stuff. And then basically, I was ready for something big this time. So I found a mentor. I found a guy on, if you know Ty Lopez, a guy named Matt Poshius on his 67 Steps group. And I asked a question because I was like, I wanted to build a course of something again. And this guy responded to me, and I was like, oh, this is a really good response. So I just checked him out, and he looked really good, really successful, and says he's like a millionaire at age 18. I was like, oh, okay, that sounds really awesome. We started talking. From here to there, basically, I ended up paying him about $4,000. And this time I was really, really committed to succeeding. So I was like, okay, he's going to teach me how to succeed, how to make money online and, actually make my dreams come true. Like I was like, just teach me how to make $50 a day. That's all I needed. But I was like really, really into it. And then I moved into, basically decided to take a loan for like $20,000 and pay him and use the rest of the money to go live in a hotel. So the hotel cost like $700 a night. And I did it because I was like, okay, I want to commit that I have like 2-3 weeks to learn how to make this shit happen, or I'm going to be in so much trouble. And surprise, surprise, it actually worked. And I learned how to close big sales. I just had no choice, basically. So I learned how to close big sales, and this is me and him in Lithuania, where he lives. Then I just, we had some differences in terms of ethics and stuff like that. So I just made a decision to stop, working with him, to stop, having him as a mentor. And I just took my ass, went on a flight to Europe, another place in Europe. I think it was Amsterdam. And on that very same day, I closed my first like $2,000 sale, and then my first $1,500 sale for my own coaching. So it was amazing. I was like, okay, it works. I can do it. And this is a picture of what my PayPal account would look like on an average month when I was like active coaching. I would make anywhere between $7,000 a month to $15,000 a month, depending on how much I worked. I really could have done a lot more, but I would usually just spend my time kind of dicking around, traveling, eating at restaurants, watching movies. I was working maybe 10 hours a week because even the marketing I put on automatic. And yeah, basically traveled all across Europe, lived in Thailand also. Really amazing, really cool stuff. And then the depression came. So then I was like, okay, I have everything I want. I have everything I need. I have money, I have girls, I have, my dream. I'm working what I love, like, but I was like depressed all of a sudden. And instead of realizing, okay, maybe it's something inside me that I need to work on, like my peace, my ability to, feel good within, I blamed it on money. And I was like, okay, I need a lot more money. Like it's not the money is that I'm not making enough money. So instead of like making $15,000 a month, I need maybe $15 million. So in a desperate move out of depression, I took $25,000. Uh, Again, paid to a guy named Dan Pena, who has this seminar. He calls it a QLA Castle Seminar in Scotland, that teaches you like how to close big deals, make a lot of money, consolidate businesses, stuff in that general direction. So this is me when I was going to the castle. This is me in the castle. I was pretty damn impressed. Like it's like I think it's like a 40-room castle with like 17 beds and a lot of like butlers. I never seen a real butler before, and he has like a Ferrari and a Rolls Royce. So it's a pretty awesome place to be. And this is me in the actual castle seminar with this funny French guy that was sitting next to me. Then I did some more crazy things. I did, I know it doesn't look like that in the picture, but I did like a 500 people lecture. Basically, in about 2 weeks, I made a decision. Okay, I have 2 weeks to fill up an 800 people auditorium. It cost me like $20,000 just to rent it. And I basically committed. I did it. It was really, really awesome. I had to make like viral videos to make it happen. And that was pretty damn cool. I was then featured in an Israeli news channel, like a TV channel, the biggest one in Israel, the online media channel called Ynet. This is me in the interview. I lived in a big villa, really, really awesome stuff, with a private pool. This is me doing like an iPhone giveaway challenge. And besides that, just was the most important thing is, through a lot of turmoil, through a lot of challenges and bad shit that happened to me because of my inability to feel okay inside, everything broke down, and then I had to like rebuild myself. And finally, I did find that peace that I was looking for, that ability to stay present to the moment, to feel good within. And basically, the demon died, the crazy part in me that wanted just crazy shit all the time. And now I'm more about, peace and love and happiness while succeeding in business and having a really, really successful and awesome life. So this is where we cross paths. This is where we, I went long enough about myself. And basically, I want to ask you, how do you feel about what you just heard, about this story? Would you like to have a lifestyle where you can, travel and just make money online? Would you like to be able to invest time in, peace and just being connected to yourself rather than always worrying about cash and always worrying about where you are because you don't like it, you don't have independence? Do you want to have, the big PayPal payouts, seeing a couple of $1,000 come in every week from people that love you for it, growing an audience of people that love you, and again, just in general, being able to just go to the beach, sit there, not do anything, and know that you're going to keep making money either way, perhaps even more, because if you're going to shoot a video from there, it's going to get you even more views than from a regular place. So if that does sound good to you, if that does sound like a really, really like something you actually really want. And if you got this far, I presume you do. I'm going to reveal to you now the three secrets, basically the three strategies, step by step, that I can teach you right now that you can use to create that lifestyle. And again, there's no hidden thing, there's no fluff. Like if you actually listen to what I'm going to teach you right now, you are going to be able to create that lifestyle. It's all about being brave enough to implement it, and that's pretty much it, to be honest. So the first secret is that closing $1,000 plus sales is easy, and I'm going to explain to you why it's actually easier than closing $50 sales, and why you should never build your business strategy around closing small sales if your goal is, again, traveling, making big sales, and doing it as fast as possible, rather than working on building a brand that takes like years to build. Now, the second secret is that your ideal clients are waiting for you, and that they will gladly pay you and thank you later. What this means is that I'm going to teach you the three characteristics that I use to identify and to filter out who's the ideal clients for me. Now, ideal clients are people that love you, that would pay you happily, that have the money, that are extremely interested, that would be amazing clients, that would attract more good clients for you, that would give you amazing reviews, that you have every time you're excited to work with them. Or if you don't actually work with them, you just give them a product, then again, they'll give you an equally amazing time. And that's the second secret. And finally, the third secret is what makes it all happen. It's the killer sales funnel. That's like the best part, and I'm basically going to show you how to automate the system where this happens. Now, the way I like to explain it is, imagine your body, and I know it's kind of a gross analogy, but I haven't ever thought of a better one. You have your mouth, you have your ass. Basically you only worry about what you put in and what goes out, okay? You don't worry about your digestive system. You don't worry about what happens, how your body breaks things down. You just worry about putting the right food in and then seeing if it comes out properly, and that's how you know you put in the good food. So that's pretty much all you have to worry about. Once you set up this killer sales funnel, all you have to worry about is get traffic, and traffic you can get, I'll show you how, but just to quickly, you can get it organically with videos. I personally love videos. I would do them even if it was just for free, and I had no interest, because I just love it. But you can also do blog posts. You can do forums. I'll show you how to private message people. You can also do it like in a paid way. You can do a Facebook ads, and everything works. And since you're going to have extremely high margins, you can basically buy traffic, and even if it costs you freaking $80 per lead, you're still going to make a massive profit of between $700 to $1,700. So that's the third secret. Again, worry about what comes in and then see what comes out. And if you do it properly, all you really the way your life is going to look. Let's say you like making videos. It's going to be you making like a video a day, maybe more if you want. The more the better. And I'll show you why. And you get people that want to talk to you, that are interested. You don't have to do anything. It books the calls automatically, and then you just talk to them on the phone, anywhere between 15 minutes to 3 hours. I like to do 2-3 hours, but that's because I love these calls. It's the favorite part of my day. But you can do it for like 15 minutes, 30 minutes, 1 hour. That's perfectly fine. It shouldn't affect your closing rate too much. And you should expect to close about 20% of all the people you talk to. And if you're extremely, good at filtering people, and again, I'll show you how. I just don't filter people that much. But if you actually want to filter them all the way, then you should expect about a 25-30% closing ratio. But even those you don't close, you're going to have a lot of fun with them. And just to make it clear, we're not talking about sales being pushy, trying to close people by force. We're talking about relationship sales. They try to close you. They enjoy every moment of it. You don't need to experience resistance. I'm talking about the most fun type of sales you can ever imagine, where again you close every third, fourth, fifth person you talk to. The rest of them love you anyway, and really, really amazing thing. And again, if you want to work with them personally, you do that. So it's a service-based product, but if you just want to give them a product like a course or something, you can also make money doing that. And all you have to do is like make 4, 5, 6 calls like that every week. You know, that's like a 2 hours a week, 2 hours a day, and you're making like $1,000, $2,000 a week, up to like $8,000 a month, or more if you want. But that's like the minimum you can expect to make. Like the minimum is like $4,000 or $5,000. Again, you work 10 hours a week, you travel, you do whatever you want. How far you can take it, you know, as far as you want. You can have like 4 calls like this every day and close tens of thousands of dollars. Basically, this is the shortcut to start making a lot of money online. You know, if later you want to make it automated and just make a system that sells for you, sure, yeah, you can do that. But why not start right now, make a lot of money, enjoy the process, do it in a couple of weeks, maybe a month or two, and then you know, if you want to develop it somewhere, then you can, instead of making like excuses and saying like, oh no, it has to be completely automatic and all that shit. That's just an excuse. So anyway, let's get into it and get into secret number 1. So why is closing $1,000 sales, you know, or more than $1,000 is actually easy? I'm gonna assert, just starting out, that low ticket items, saying only low ticket items, meaning like $37 products, $20 products, $80 products, is death. There is no reason why anyone should sell such cheap products. It's all because of low self-esteem and bad beliefs. I'm not saying you shouldn't sell low ticket items, but the only reason to sell a low ticket item is to supplement the ad costs for high ticket items. For example, you pay for ads. Again, it covers some of the ad expenses, or because you just want to, or because you want to make people more ready for the high ticket product. But in and of its own, selling low ticket products and basing your financial goals on it is the dumbest thing you can ever do. And I'll show you here why. So here you have a table. You can see that your income, your goal is $5,000. And if you're going to sell a $37 product, that means you need 135 sales, meaning that you need about 4.5 sales every single day, 30 days a week, 30 days a month. Now, in terms of the traffic and the funnel, you basically get people to your squeeze page where you just get their email, and from there you redirect them to a sales page. Now, let's say that on the sales page for the book, you get maybe 5-6% closing ratio, which again is pretty high. But let's say you have a really good email campaign too that also sells it. Fine, sure. You need 135 freaking sales, and to get that, you're gonna need at least 4,000 traffic, basically 4,000 views every single month. And unless you are really good at tapping into traffic sources, that would be extremely hard. Again, we're not talking about 4,000 video views on YouTube. We're talking about 4,000 people clicking on your website that are the right type of people that would go for that offer. You know, not just any 4,000 people. That's another misconception people have. They think it's just about numbers. No, it's also about the type of people that you bring in to the funnel. Now you say, okay, maybe I can buy traffic. Maybe I can use ads to get to 4,000. Again, each one of those 4,050 people is called a click. It's somebody who clicked your ad. Like if you want 4,050 people, that's going to cost you at the minimum, let's say $1 per click. This means that, you know, if you got lucky, because ad traffic is even less good at converting because it's cold traffic. It's people that don't necessarily know you. That means you, on a $4,000 per month budget, you make maybe $1,000 revenue at best. Not really your goal. Trust me, you don't want to do it. Now, let's say you do have a $997 product. Now, in this case, the way it works is you only need, first of all, 5 sales to get to 5,000. So you just need 5 sales a month to get to $5,000, meaning about a sale every week, a bit more than that, like a sale every 5 days. So that's awesome. A sale every 6 days. How you do it? Okay, so this is the funnel. You get traffic, you lead the traffic to a squeeze page, just like in the previous case. You get about 50% if you've done a really, really good job on the squeeze page. And then instead of converting them to just trying to sell them, you actually convert them to, you skip the whole $37 product, and then you get them to a free call where about 15% convert. And I'm going to show you exactly how to do it. And then out of that, about a fifth are going to be sales. Now, of course, you can play around with the numbers a bit, but you don't need nearly as much traffic to get $5,000 on $997 product as you do a $37. And also remember again that it's a different type of traffic. When you only need like 400, 500 people visiting your website every month, it's actually very feasible to get organically. Don't forget that you can pay for ads because for example, let's say you want 400 people on your website, 400 clicks. If it's $1 per click, that's just $400 out of a $5,000 income. Versus if you sell just a $37 product, it's $4,000 for 4,000 clicks for $5,000 income, meaning just $1,000 profit. So in one case you have like a 15% profit margin. In another one you have like an 85%. So again, it's a lot easier getting 350 visitors than 4,000. Paid traffic will kill you if you sell like a cheap product. And cheap items, the best use you have for them is just to supplement and pay for the ad expenses. And now I'm going to explain to you, besides like the funnel aspect, the statistic aspect, the story of Ivan, and who was a client of mine, and why people actually respect high prices, in case you're afraid of asking for high prices. So this is Ivan. As you can see, this guy is not exactly a math teacher. He's a fitness consultant, pretty obvious. And what Ivan does is he would sell a course that he made, like a super, super in-depth course that he worked for weeks on. And he also sold his own coaching, and he would sell it for like $50. Now, he had really good following because he would always post on Facebook groups, and his body attracts people and his knowledge attracts people. So this guy would already, using the model I'll show you later, would already get like 4 or 5, 6 people on a call every week, meaning he had who were interested in fitness, although he didn't filter them out for money, but I'll show you more about that later. So he had already had the potential to make thousands of dollars, but what he did wrong was he would ask only like $50 to $200 payments for his coaching and for the course. Now you would think that since it's cheap, it's probably going to sell pretty well, but Ivan would actually have to deal with daily bullshit like these sentences. Hey Ivan, can you give me the first week for free? Hey Ivan, why do you think you're worth my money? Like, prove yourself to me. You're asking me for money, so prove me that you're worth it. Why is it $100? Why is it a little less than $100? How did you get to that specific price? Can you give me a discount? Can you coach me for free, and then I'll pay you only if it works? Shit, just fucking bullshit. That guy was suffering. Like, that guy was suffering so bad because that's all that he would hear in every call. He would barely make any money. The people that did pay him were shitty clients. And he would consult with me and ask me, like, what's wrong? Like, why is this not working? And I just told him, like, man, just up the price 10 times or 20 times. Just start charging $1,000 or $2,000 instead of 50. And the guy was like, no, it's not going to work. I'll never do it, blah, blah, blah. Again, I'm not really an expert on the whole ego thing in that, but again, he just had like a ton of excuses why not to do it. Resistance, he's not worth it, it's not good enough, blah blah blah. And eventually, Ivan listened to me, and he started charging $1,000, and suddenly he got the exact same results that I told you about. He would start closing at 20% of the people. People would chase after him, would tell him like, hey, can you please, maybe I'll pay you like half now, like $500 now, $500 later. I don't have the money, so can I pay you just that? Please, can I work with you? And people would start chasing him. He would start getting paid. The guy started making thousands of dollars a month, and he lived in I think it's Slovenia or something like that, like one of those poor countries that average salary there is like $500. So the guy became one of the highest earners in that country very, very fast. And again, the reason it works, it's what I call tangible versus intangible selling. It's the same reason that Gucci sells very well, even though it's really expensive. It's the same reason that Mercedes looks, people give it a lot more respect than any other car. When something costs a lot more money, when something is considered like premium, people give it a different respect. Again, many Americans think higher prices buy better healthcare. They do a wine tasting competition. They tell people that this wine costs more. People just assume that this one is by far tastier. If while they taste it, it actually tastes better. This funny picture again. That's just the way it works. Like, if it looks prestigious, people believe it's prestigious. If you can ask somebody to give you $1,000, and you sound really calm about it, and like like it's a regular thing, then they just assume that that's how much you get paid. That's just how it works. It's just like if you approach a beautiful supermodel, and you can be very, very chill with her and just like talk to her like it's an everyday occurrence, she's gonna subconsciously think that you just hang out with supermodels every day, so she's going to be very attracted to you because people get nervous around supermodels. Again, same thing with sales. If you ask for $1,000, you're like completely chill. People just assume that you just ask for this much all the time. The highest I've personally seen on a sales call was actually with a guy that he had like the dumbest traffic thing I've ever seen. Like, he had a funnel, but it wasn't even a funnel. Like, literally all he did was like get like leads. It was like the worst funnel I've seen in my entire life, in terms of like no personality, no branding. I didn't even know his name. Worst marketing, worst design. But since it was so simple and high converting, the guy would just get a lot of opportunities to get on the phone with people, and he would just say, hey, look, the price is like, to work with me is like $10,000, but I'll give it to you because I like you for $5,000. And that's like the highest I've seen. And like, the guy's asking you for $5,000 like he's asking for $20. So, and it works, this shit works. So again, it's easy. The more higher you charge, with some discretion. Like, obviously, if you sound like an idiot and you don't know what you're saying, people are not going to respond well if you ask for a lot of money. But if you can actually show your value, you demonstrate it in the call, you help that person, you show him that you know what you're saying, you improve his life. Like, the more money you ask, the more prestigious it's going to seem. And just about abundance and trusting that you're going to have another call. Don't worry about it. And that's how you start closing 20-25% ratios, 1 in 4, 1 in 5 people at crazy high prices really easily, and then have them thank you for it. Again, the more you charge them, the happier they'll be. So the more you need to put less and less effort, you get more and more results, fun and money. And that's why you need just 4 sales to freedom. That's, again, hence the name. And as Dan Pena, one of my mentors, the guy I went to the castle for, says, focus on the few, not the many. You just need 20 good people. That's what I say, by the way, not him. You just need 20 good people every month to close at least the minimum $4,000 in sales. And 20 people, what I mean is, you only need 20 people who are like interested in what you do and want to hear from you, that they're okay. Like they have some money, maybe even a bit. They're fairly interested in the topic. You just need 20 people like this every month, and no reason you won't make more than $4,000 a month while traveling, while doing anything. And just really ask yourself, like, can I get like one person every like day and a half that's like, hey man, I like your stuff. I want to go on a call with you, like a free call. Like that's really all you need. Now, in terms of product or service, you can sell a product, you can sell a service. The ideal is a product service. So it's something that, let's say you build a course, but you also offer like a weekly call for everybody who's in that course. Like when you combine a product with a service, it's just the best results because people on one hand, they love the fact that they're getting a product, and on the other hand, they love the fact that you're there. You can't just give a product, you can't just give a service. That's just my recommendation. If you want to and if you can, try to find the middle. 80% of the work or 90% of the work would be just the product, and all you need to do is maybe like pop in for a call once a week, stuff like that, and it automatically makes it look a lot more prestigious and high value. Now off to secret number 2, why your ideal clients are just waiting for you and how to find them. So what I've set up is a secret list of 3 golden parameters that I use to identify who's my ideal clients, the people that will buy, the people that will have an amazing time with, the people that would tell other people about me. This is the ideal people to get on a call with. And these 3 parameters are interest, finance, and affinity. Interest meaning, is he interested? Finance, does he have money? Affinity, do I like him? The more interest a person has in the subject, the more easily it's going to be to close him, and also the more money he's willing to pay. So imagine somebody who's a bit interested in fitness. Let's say even somebody who's not even interested in fitness. Well, you might tempt them by saying like, hey, take a free guide, like 3 steps to lose weight instantly without any effort. That's something that would appeal to them because they don't want to invest anything in terms of money or effort because they just don't care about it. Now, take the opposite end of the spectrum. Take somebody who's like, his life is fitness, that's his life goal. That person would do anything to get better. Or take something in the middle, somebody who's like interested in fitness moderately. Maybe you'll offer him like a free consultation call where you'll help him better his nutrition and exercise regime. And this guy will be like, yeah, sure, I'll go on a free call, no problem. Maybe he'll even buy like a $50 product. But he's not just going to buy a $1,000 product. But if you get on the phone with him and you show him that he can be much, much better, you basically help increase his interest. And that's how he gets sold very easily. Now, again, if somebody comes over and he's like, look, that's my thing. I love fitness. That's what I care about. I'm willing to do anything to get better at it. Obviously, that person, you just need to show him you're the right guy. He's going to pay for anyone who shows himself as the right guy. So the more interest the person has, the more ease and of sale and the more price in the sale you can have. And the way you can filter that out, I'll show you really soon. So second thing is the 80-20-0 financial ratio. And what that means is that 80% of your clients would be people that can easily afford your services. So most of your clients are supposed to be people who have money, who can afford like $1,000 product or service, or $2,000. It's not like a big deal. Obviously, it costs money. They don't like to just spend it, but they're not going to go broke. They have the money saved. They're ready to use it. So that's 80% of your clients, and that's the best 80% you have. They're very low maintenance because it's okay. It's not like the biggest money ever. So they want to succeed, but they're not dependent on it for their future. And again, they're going to be pretty nice, pretty easy sales. Now, 20% of your clients would actually be people who can barely afford your product, meaning that once in a while you will talk to somebody who's like, look, I barely have the money. I have like my last $2,000, $3,000. I want to invest like my $1,000 into you, or $2,000 or $3,000 in you. And these people, again, you want only 20%. You want to be very, very, very picky with them, because a lot of them are very needy. Uh, Obviously, they're very high interest, because somebody without high interest would not, like, use his last money to buy something like this. But just in general, I would be careful with them, because they're needy, they're desperate, they depend on you. They're like, okay, you're my only hope to make this happen. And most of the time, it's a really bad result. But as I said, occasionally there's a good one. So some of my best clients were people like this, who didn't have the money, like they just, almost went broke, but they still used, whatever money they had to work with me. And then they used it, they made more money, and then we worked together full time, and it was amazing. Now, the 0% would be simply can't afford. So people who can't afford your service, stay away from them. Don't talk to them. Don't, just no. Like, unless you like to give charity, like unless you like to help people who can't afford you, and until you already are successful, until you're already traveling and all that, stay away from these people. They're going to suck up your time. They're not going to see any results. Again, some people, I know, I've been there. I've even, I know what it feels like to have no money. But people who really, really, really want to be successful, they find a way to get the money. They take a loan, whatever it is. People who just don't have the money and can't afford you, they're just bums. They're wasting your time. Maybe they're not going to be bums in the future. Maybe you're going to change, but stay away from them. Don't talk to them. Nothing. Like, just going to drag you down. Trust me, this is out of experience, a lot of experience. These people will ruin you, because they will drag you down into their level. It's just really bad for your self-esteem. Now, affinity is really cute. Affinity is about how much somebody likes you. Just to make it clear, it only matters if you're actually going to work with that person. Like, if you offer like a course or something, and the person is very interested in the subject, and he does have the money, who gives a fuck? Like, go on the phone, close him. Why not? But if you're going to work with that person one-on-one, then only work with people that you have a very high affinity with, people that you get along with, that are positive, that make you feel good, that you like. Because, again, this is your life. You want to work with people that make you feel good. It's not like there's a lack of people if you do it properly. Again, never work with somebody you have bad chemistry with. It's never, ever, ever the right decision, even if you don't have the money, even if you really need it. You can talk to somebody who you have bad chemistry with, and just the only way I've seen it work is if you put up like really, really strong boundaries. Like for example, a new dating coach who he had like a really bad financial period, and he would work with anyone, and he would work with all these weird people that were like highly critical, negative. And I just told him, like, look, if you're going to keep working with them, instead of, because the money is that important, then tell them that, they have to, let's say, approach like 30 girls every day instead of like 5. Put like really, really, really high standards on them, so that at least they take a ton of action, and that way it's not as bad. But if you can avoid it, never ever work with somebody you have bad affinity with. And again, the more affinity, the easier the sale, but it's also easier to get attached. So it's like a very problematic line, where if you have a lot of affinity with someone, you get really, really long, good, relations with. You really like them. You want, the best for them. So it's very easy to make them, your clients, because they love you, they want to work with you. But then because you like them so much, you might actually, stick around way too much, instead of closing the sale, start giving away free shit. So, it's good, but just don't get attached, because when you get attached, that's when you're going to start giving value away, and it hurts the both of you, not just you. Like, it's bad for them because they don't have a strict person who helps them, and also it's bad for you because Well, you lose money, you lose time, you lose passion, you lose self-esteem. So the ideal client, as you can see, is interest, affinity, finance. It's right in the middle. When you find these people, and again, you basically filter them out through your application form, which I'll show you later how. When you find that holy thing, you work with them. If you think you don't have any affinity with that person based on what they wrote, just don't talk to them unless you're selling like a course and you want to go do it anyway, because you're not going to work with them one-on-one. If you see that they don't have the money, and I'll show you how, again, don't even reply. Like, maybe even reply, hey, I have like these solutions if you want free solutions, maybe a discount, but like otherwise don't waste your time on the call. And in terms of interest, again, if they're like really, I'm not really interested, I don't know why I'm talking to you, blah blah, don't go on the call. But the more interested they are, the more you want to be on the call with them. So how to actually find the clients in terms of where and how? I like to use a very simple formula and basically compare it to finding fish. So what you need is three things. You need A, B, C: attention, bait, close. You need to catch the attention. Let's say it's you fish, so you get the bait. You throw the bait into the water. Obviously, you make sure it's the proper bait, because if it's not the proper bait, then even if you get the attention, it doesn't matter. The fish won't come. So you get the proper bait. You throw the reel, you reel it into the water, and then the fish sees the bait. You get attention. That's one. And then he takes the bait because, again, it's the proper bait. That's two. And then closing is pretty much automatic. What I mean by that is if it's the right fish, it's just going to happen. So it's like the three characteristics: the interest, financial, and affinity. So what that means is that if you have the right bait, so you give, like, let's say a free, somebody who's like, maybe you go on a forum for fitness and there's a leg forum where people talk about their knees or something, and then you offer like a solution for free, like an ebook to solve like knee problems. You're gonna get it's a very good bait because it's very specific to the people that need it. So the better the bait, the more people you're going to attract to it. And so it's, again, how many people you get their attention. Do you have the attention of like 50 people because of a YouTube video? Do you have like 100 people in a Facebook post? Like, how many people's attention did you have? And then what's the bait? Because if it's the proper bait, they're going to get it. And then out of them, the bait meaning like, get the free book, then they automatically sign up for the application form for talking to you. And then what closing means is, again, just if you talk to the right person with the three characteristics, closing is natural. When you talk to someone who's very interested, who has the money, and you have a good affinity with, closing is the most natural thing. It's like sex with the girl that you have perfect chemistry with. It needs to happen. Unless there's like a problem. But again, we're filtering out these problems ahead of time. So this is the ideal kind of the strategy to get them. So you want to ask yourself, where are they? Like, where are these people usually? Where do I get their attention? What is their bait? Like, how do I bait them in? Like, okay, now I got their attention. What would make them come to me? You get it? Not me to them. What would make them come to me? Like a free sample, a free something. And from there, you just need to filter out the right people, and they're going to close automatically. So this is step 3, the killer sales funnel. And that's like the best part of this entire thing. So in the first secret, we talked about sales and how to close big sales. Second secret is how to find the people who you're going to sell. This is about the system that makes it all happen automatically for you. So just to give you a quick look, this is the funnel itself. As you can see, it starts with Facebook, YouTube, and blogging, gets to the squeeze page, the email thing, and then filter out the problems. Congrats. Now I'm going to go step by step and actually look what happens in this funnel. So just, again, this is going to be very clear, very simple. Don't worry about it. I know it looks a bit complicated, but it's really not. So starting out, these are your traffic sources, either Facebook ads, YouTube, or any sort of blogging thing, posting. I generally prefer YouTube. I know a lot of people that rely only on Facebook ads, and I also know people that do blogging. All of them work. What they do is get in traffic to the actual squeeze page. Again, this is the squeeze page. Really simple. You've probably seen 100 of these before. Squeeze page simply means a page that gets people to put their emails in. You can make it as long and complicated or as simple and straightforward as possible. I call it VIP stuff because it's like, hey, let's get VIP content, really special things. You want to get like the free ebook. Basically, you get very special piece of content. And then what I like to do is put them into some sort of kind of a ticking thing where it's like, okay, thank you, that's awesome. You're gonna get the VIP stuff, but now tell me what specifically is your problem? Like, do you find your problems? And in here, you're going to be able to give them a really, really custom solution for what they need. So let's say they say, okay, I need marketing, products, and funnel. Then you redirect them to a page where it's like, oh, hey, congrats, you're getting the guide. By the way, I have a link for you. I have a very special offer. Do you want to check it out? Question mark. And you can click on it. Yeah, sure. And then you apply to a free call where you basically ask them questions only to find out about interest, finance, and affinity. What that means is questions for interest is how long have you been doing this? How important is this for you? Questions for finance are how much can you afford in terms of service? How much money have you invested in the past in this thing? Questions about affinity. It's more about shared values. It's like what's most important for you. What is your dream? What are your goals? And then while like some of them will go and do that free application, some of them won't. But now, since they're getting your content, again, this doesn't have to be 3 separate videos. This could just as well be like an ebook that also pushes people to sign up to a free consultation during the email in the ebook itself. And then again, that also gets people back there. Once people apply for the free call, all that you really need is to automatically mail them and give them a schedule link where they can actually schedule with you. You go on the call. By the way, I recommend MailChimp and Calendly because MailChimp is free for the first 2,000 users, and for the first 20, like you can use 12,000 emails every month and have up to 2,000 email subscribers for free, completely free. And Calendly also works for free if you just have like one specific event that you use it for. So you actually use Calendly to get people to book a call with you, and you just need to send them the link. And finally, there's the 30 to 120 minute Skype call. Now, of course, in this big funnel, this is what I call like the quality relationship funnel. This is where you actually build the relationship over time. Like you have a lot of permission based, like, can I do this? Is it okay if I do that? And you get like you get basically an investment from people that way. But if you want to, you can literally scrape away half the shit you see here and just keep the VIP stuff, get traffic, VIP stuff, get the email, and then jump straight to like an application form. It's really that simple. Or you can even in the email then keep sending them emails every day, and at the bottom of the email encourage them to go on a free Skype call with you. And then once they signed up on Calendly, basically they have the event booked, then you're like, hey man, I also want to just send them, I want to ask you a few more questions. Again, it's going to be all automatic. So what I'm saying is, on one hand, this is a really, really good funnel that works very well. But on the other hand, it really does not matter that much. Like, you can make it as simple as you want or as complex as you want. The only thing that must happen is debate, because debate is what gets people to come in droves to your website. And once they get fill in the bait, you have their email. Again, you can spam them with like every day, send them like content, like valuable tips, stuff like that, and just every time like send them the link to book a call with you or to the application form, and again redirect immediately after they give you the email. It's really that simple. Any sort of basic software can help you do that, like WordPress. You can do it. You can use ClickFunnels, website builders. um, Again, in terms of making it happen, it's really not that complicated, and it works. Like, I've seen so many people, so many clients of mine where they're like, no, it's too simple. Like, it's too simple to work. But yeah, once you actually set this up, and again, if you look, it actually looks like sort of a digestive system. Uh, you just need to worry about the input and the output, like what happens at the beginning, how to get people into it, and you have to worry about the end, like how to actually close people on the call. Everything else is automatic, happens on its own. And again, you can improve the 20% conversion, 30% conversion. It doesn't really matter as long as you actually get conversions. As long as people are actually going on calls with you, you are going to make thousands of dollars a month. Now, let me ask you a question. How much would this be worth to you if I actually coached you and helped you create this funnel for almost 3 months while giving you my best knowledge and tools for wisdom and success in your life? Meaning, everything I know about sales, about traveling, about handling your money, basically all of my wisdom. Now, in addition to that, how much would it be worth if I also sat with you for many, many hours and just showed you step by step how to build this entire funnel from the ground up? Not, just the simple version, but the actual relationship version, where you know that every person that gets into the funnel, every single view that you get on your website, has a good chance of turning into someone who's getting a real relationship with you, who's getting like to know you and to experience you. And then when he gets on the call with you, let's say 1 in 20 people get on the call, it's somebody who's like really like interested in you already. And then you don't have to do the 2-hour calls. You can just go 15 minutes on the phone, hear them say like, oh my god, I can't believe I'm actually talking to you, and then actually close them right there and then. Now, what if in addition to that, I also share with you all of my life-changing tips, everything I spent so much money and time to learn, from finding mentors and getting them to work with you for free, basically, up to building perfect habits where you can actually completely control your daily actions. Make sure you do the actions that you need consistently every day, whether it's in business, in health, in your fitness, in your relationships, in your mindfulness, and how to make sure you don't lose a single habit ever. And even values, like how to know your ideal values, meaning values that you can actually base your life around and make decisions around, so you always know before making a decision, what do I really, really care about on the deepest level, and let that guide you, and much, much, much more. So just to summarize, you're going to get from me coaching for 3 months on this stuff. This is worth $3,000. This is how much I would charge to work with somebody one-on-one. You also get me to guide you step by step on how to actually build the entire sales funnel. I'm talking from the moment you begin, from just getting a domain, all the way up to actually handling the calls, how to setting up the email thing, literally sitting with me click by click as I set it up, and I show you how to set it up. And finally, helping you find mentors, build amazing habits, finding your values, and much, much, much more. Again, total value over 9,000, crazy amounts of value. And all this I'm going to offer to you with a full 60-day money-back guarantee for the price of $997. Now, this is the price that I'm going to charge once the 4 days are over. So I'm only offering you for 4 days a special price of $997 instead, 50% off. It's a 96-hour sale. Only an opportunity for the people who really like me and really believe in my content. Again, you have a full money back guarantee. I'm going to be with you all the way there. I'm going to make sure that you actually succeed and start building it. Now, if you only get one sale using this stuff, if you only get one single sale, never mind how it would change your life, how it would change all your perspective, like what happened to me changed my perspective, and basically help you understand that it is possible. If you only made one sale, you would have already made your entire money back. And again, never mind the fact that I want you to be successful. I want you to make sure that you gain the full benefit of the product. And if for any reason you feel like you didn't get it, you have 60 full days to get your money back. So this is the offer I have for you today. Again, it's only for 4 days. There's really no reason to wait with it. If you're interested in it, if this is important for you, again, if you have interest in it, if you have the money to afford it, or even if you can barely afford it, because again, you have the security, and if you like me, that will also help. Again, this is exactly for you. This course will change your life completely. You have my word on it. I'm giving my heart and soul into it, and I'm going to make sure that you're going to be successful, travel the world, make a ton of money online, and enjoy every single moment of it, just like I did, because I want you to have this as well. Anyway, thanks for joining me on this webinar. As you can see, I spent a shitload of time making this, making sure everything is perfect, everything is really shown well. If you haven't read my ebook, the free 5-step blueprint to basically building a travel business lifestyle, it's on my main page on my website. This ebook talks about pretty much the same things, but instead of just in a webinar, you get it like in a 70-page, highly in detail format. Again, you're also going to get the full summary sent directly to your email, including the offer. I remind you, there's only 4 days before the price goes up. So if this is important for you and you have the money, this is the right time to do it, because you have literally nothing to lose. Thank you again for joining me on the seminar. Let me know if you have any questions. Just reply to the email that you probably gotten by now, and let me know if you have, again, anything is unclear about the course, about what you learned. I'd be more than happy to help you. And even if not, just let me know, how was the webinar? What do you think I could have done better? And what have you enjoyed about listening to me for 90 freaking minutes? Thanks for joining, and I hope to see you soon in my emails, in my videos, in my products, and maybe one day even face to face. Talk soon. Goodbye.